Every day, over 3,000 children sustain a sports injury severe enough to go to the emergency room. And the greatest number of injuries are in kids just 13, 14, and 15 years old. To better understand what's happening here, Safe Kids Worldwide conducted a survey of parents, coaches, and young athletes to explore how the culture of sports may be what's keeping kids out of the game. Here to tell us more is Kate Carr, President and CEO of Safe Kids. Kate, thanks so much for being with us.
Oh, thanks for having me.
These are really scary numbers, these numbers of injuries in kids so young, and it seems to be on the rise.
Well, when you look at the total number of injuries, it's about 1.24 million in 2013. That's emergency room visits alone. And if you think about the cost of that to families, that's close to $1 billion in healthcare costs. So are we looking at a greater increase? We're seeing a large number of kids, and no matter what the number is, it's still way too many kids.
Way too high, absolutely. So what's the role that parents are playing here? I mean, they should be protecting their kids, but are they sometimes making this worse?
Well, parents told us that they felt that coaches had the training that they needed, not only in the sport, but in injury prevention. Yet coaches told us more than 50% of them wanted more training in injury prevention.
So they don't have the training necessary for the most part.
Well, there are specific areas of training. So you can have concussion training, AED, CPR, but overall injury prevention, that training doesn't exist now, and we'd like to see that developed and happening.
And as the pressure to perform intensifies, are coaches pushing the kids harder?
Well, coaches could be pushing the kids, but we also found that parents were pushing coaches to play kids even when kids were injured.
And what were kids telling you? I found it so interesting to hear what kids playing injured would say about it.
Well, 42% of the kids that we interviewed said that they had played injured at some point in time. But even more alarming was 1 of every 4 kids told us that it was okay for them to have a hard hit, a late foul, something that you could call dirty play.
Absolutely.
Something that just didn't belong in the game. And a lot of them were getting injured. 33% of them were getting injured as a result of dirty play.
So how can all groups involved, the children, the parents, and the coaches, how can they stop this from happening? What can we do?
Well, that's a great way to think about it, because we're all involved in it. And we all have a role to play, and we're advocating that at the start of the season, that parents, coaches, and kids get together and set the ground rules. Say that we're going to teach kids to speak up when they're injured so they don't hide an injury, that we're going to work to prevent injury by educating kids and coaches in a better fashion, and that we'll put an end to those late hits, those dirty plays that just don't belong in the game.
And is there also some way that we can talk to our children to make them realize that the sport is not the end-all and be-all, that their health is equally as important?
Well, sports are a great thing for kids, and we want to see all kids playing sports. And today, as a parent, I know I worry about my daughter's safety while she's out there playing.
What does your daughter play?
Basketball, volleyball, she swims, and she plays softball.
There you go. Lots of balls to the head, right? That's what I worry about. I have 2 boys who play hockey. I worry about concussions all the time. So your advice is very well taken.
Well, but we also want to see kids not specialize in one sport where they play 12 months out of the year, and they put themselves at risk for a lifetime of an injury by that over-specialization. So kids need to take a break from their favorite sport and diversify.
Very good advice. Kate Carr, President of Safe Kids, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.